Hello. We are, it's no April Fool's joke, people. It's April 1st at the original New England Compact Disc and Record Expo here in Dedham at the Holiday Inn. And we just spoke to Moulty, who's back in the room. And now we're talking to Gary DeCarlo of the group Steam. Hello, Gary.
How are you, Joe?
We're honored to have you here.
I'm honored to be here. It's nice to meet you in person.
I'm glad you called into our show. Hundreds of people have viewed it already.
Well, like I said, I'm just happy to be here. It's nice to see people that are this interested, especially in the vinyl thing.
Vinyl's coming is a huge comeback. In fact, I found this one on Fontana.
Looks familiar.
It's The Magic in You Girl by Steam. Oh, and the flip is Nana Hey Hey Kiss 'Em Goodbye. So, I would like to ask you for an autograph on camera. That way people,
You want me down on the label or on the sleeve?
anywhere you want. Moulty of the Barbarians.
Hey,
I want you to meet someone on camera.
all right. What do you want me to do? Where do I go?
Right here.
How high do I jump?
This is Gary DeCarlo. I want you guys to meet.
Okay.
Would you like to sit here?
I don't care where you put me.
Okay.
Do anything you want. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Two of the legendary artists from the 1960s together. When was this hit, actually?
69.
69.
Number one,
69.
December 6th. December 6th, 1969. We lasted, I think, 2 weeks, and we bumped the Beatles out of number one. Come Together.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's why I wind up doing some of the Beatle Expo things with
Charles.
Charles, yeah. Because people would say, "Well, why are you here?" And that's why.
Well, if you can get the Beatles off the charts, that was the hardest thing for us.
Yeah,
all, wasn't
yeah. It was a two-sided hit too. It was Something and
And come together.
Come Together. Yeah,
Before
exactly.
Abbey Road came out.
Yeah. So we were, Well, what's bad is that it was a two-sided thing because I was happy that it went number one, but yet I was unhappy with the fact that no one knew that I sang it. Well, because of the whole story behind it.
it? There's a story behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I know you sang it. That's all that counts. Right on.
Yeah, my family too, right?
You know. Those things happen.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think, at Marshfield, ATD, I introduced Moulty to Ken Evans of the Fifth Estate. And today, it's Moulty and Gary DeCarlo, and it's so much fun having you incredibly talented people. I can feel the talent. I can just feel the talent pouring.
That means there's going to be food and money.
All right.
Moulty's up at ATD Radio a lot. You were there last night.
He was there last night? No, I was there. Yeah, I was there last night.
One of the most fun, Ed Bowen, you'll be meeting.
Yeah, he's over there.
25 years, he just...
That was the fellow you were talking about on the phone?
Ed Bowen, probably, yeah. How long you been going to the station?
28 years.
You have been.
Yeah. I met Ed and George 28 years ago. They put me on that TV show first. And then I kept going to the station all the time and involved with them a lot and became good friends. And Ed Perry, the owner, him and I are good friends too, and they're just fabulous down there.
It's a great radio station playing the songs that we love.
Yeah, and they do they have a lot of different programs on WATD, but they have some old there's some music shows too.
So it's close by here?
Marshfield, South Shore. Yeah, where are you from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Huh?
Let's see. So
He's telling me about him singing on that song. There's a story behind it. What is it?
Absolutely. The record was I had cut four sides with Paul Lecker. When I cut the four sides, they felt that they were A sides, so we needed a B side. My A side at the time was supposed to be Working on a Groovy Thing. Now the fellow that brought that to me, his name was Erwin Schuster, and he was from Screen Gems. He went back and told the Fifth Dimension that if they were going to pull something off their album, they better do it quickly, because he heard the record and he felt it was a decent record. So he went back, he told them, they put theirs out, beat me by a week. So that was dead in the water. So now we still needed a B-side, so I went with Sweet Lauralee, which was written by Larry Weiss, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't want to lead with a ballad, but, so be it. So anyway, Nana, we needed a B-side. We went into the studio that night. The chant was born in the studio that night. It was not part of the song. That was written before it was a blues shuffle. And then that was added to it that night. It was one of the tracks of the 4 sides I had cut, a thing by Neil Sedaka called Sugar Sugar. And it was a studio drummer from New York City, Jimmy Johnson. And then everything was added to it. There's no bass on the record, there's no guitar on the record, it's just all piano, organ overdubs, vibes, and then I played percussion on a board. We put cloth around the sticks. And, yeah. So that's what gave it that little bit of rump. So now, when the record is done, we went in about 7 o'clock that night, and by 5 in the morning it was complete, mixed, everything, ready to go. So Paul says to me, you can have both of them, because he said that the record company said to him, this is not a B-side. We think it's an A-side. So now he said, we're going to split it, and we're going to go A-side, and whichever one hits, you could be both, because they're both your records. Well, when the time came, there was no group. He said to me, I'll get you a group. But he didn't get me a group, and he also told me to stay away from all the people in my area. In other words, sever your ties with them because you're going forward, in other words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was something wrong with these people or something.
Right.
But, so anyway, the records both start to happen, and this one took off. Mine got to play, but it was supposed to go on LS in Chicago. And it didn't get that, so Sweet Lauralee kind of went the way of the dinosaur, and this just kept going. And when I went out and did my performances, I was told not to say to anyone that I was the singer. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, but don't forget, I knew Paul from when we were kids.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to when I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And the record company, the guy Barbarians, was vice president, and he's telling me, don't say anything. So, I mean, he's Paul was my manager, my producer, and my publisher. So I mean, it's like going to a doctor, for example. If you don't believe your doctor, how are you going to get fixed?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, you put your confidence in them, right? That's the way I was with him.
Yeah.
I felt that he was going to watch my back because he was my friend.
Right.
And also the fact that he was definitely mentally into the business end of the business, and he knew more about it. So I figured, I'm covered.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, it didn't happen that way. And again, 43 years later, Paul passed away not too long ago, but 43 years later, they had all that time to correct it. On the back of the album, they got a picture of me. It makes it seem as if Gary DeCarlo and Garrett Scott are two different people. I sang under the name of Garrett Scott, and I wrote under the name of Gary DeCarlo, but I am both people.
Right.
I still, to this day, am signed to AFTRA under that name, Garrett Scott. You know what I mean? So
what happens with the royalties?
Well, I got paid up until I think 1974. I got like 1 point as an artist, but after that it dried up, nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I still get paid as a writer, thank God.
Yeah, right.
So I mean that's what kept me going.
Well, at least they didn't throw you out the
yeah.
out the window. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's good. Yeah.
But
it's tough when you don't get what you deserve.
Well, what hurts even more is the fact that the 3 groups that finally went on the road. There was the first group that's on the album.
Yeah.
They told everybody in here because they lived in the same area, so they would tell everyone that was them. I mean,
yeah, right. Yeah.
No guitar, no bass, but they're telling the guy, "Oh, I played this on there." And it's
right.
Then the second group, same thing. They're from the valley. So every time that you met someone, they'd say, "Oh, do you know so and so? He was in the group." And so, how many times can you do that over a period of 40 years? You know what I mean? Or they'll say to you, "That really wasn't you."
Right.
So what do you say?
Yeah, what are you going to say? Argue with them? Yeah.
You know, especially that they see stuff online,
Yeah.
written, and written by Paul
Yes.
and them.
Yeah.
And that was because I was just telling Joe about, you know, something that's in one of the magazines where he said it was a piece of garbage, and he didn't like it.
What,
and
that
he
number
was
one hit?
Absolutely. He
That
said he
number one hit
embarrassed.
was a piece of garbage.
Yeah, he said it was. He said, and when it was originally done, it was meant to be a throwaway. Now, if that was the case, then why
Give me
didn't
that. I'd like to throw it
why-
away at number one.
Yeah, but wait a minute. If it was supposed to be a throwaway, then why couldn't it stay as a B-side for Sweet Loreley if it was supposed to
It
be
was a throwaway, yeah. Somebody
I mean,
somebody
that,
yeah,
you
right.
know, it doesn't register to me.
Yeah, they're talking circles, yeah. How
That's
many
what I mean.
times does things like this happen to people in the business?
Yeah,
Over
you
and
know, I
over
know,
again,
absolutely.
yeah, it's
Well, when I
tough.
did the show, the PBS show in Pittsburgh, I met so many people, and everybody has a story. And it's sad to see these people work so many years, and you know what I mean, and get taken over the coals because there's so many sharks in the business.
Oh, yeah.
Moulty, I thought he was lip syncing on PBS. I watched it. Tortelli watched it.
Yeah.
I thought you were lip syncing to the hit. It sounded so accurate. It's amazing that you can make a record sound almost that precise.
They did an excellent job. What was funny was like when I did the rehearsal, they didn't have that many pieces, you know, for the sound check. And then that night when it was being done, it's like I turned around and I saw all those background singers. I didn't even know where they came from. The guys with the blue jackets, I didn't even know where they were. They're from a foreign country and they're a doo-wop group. But I didn't know that until you know afterwards, after the show was shot. But
Well, you had a nice big band.
yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
they laid down a great track.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was happy with that, and I got a lot of good response from that, which I was happy about.
good, yeah.
And the Starship was on that show,
Okay. Okay.
but they have a obviously Grace Slick wasn't there.
Yeah.
Different girl.
Now,
blonde.
how old are you?
I'll be 70 in June.
June? Yeah. Gee, looks good, doesn't he? Going to be 70 in June.
Well, I didn't get a lot of work. I wasn't killed on the road.
You didn't get dragged to the mill like we did.
Yeah, there
huh?
was no road.
No road.
Moulty did the Tammy show. Did you ever watch the Tammy show?
What is it?
Tammy show with the Rolling Stones and the Supremes.
Oh no. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, no, I didn't see that one.
You can keep it on the guys.
I'll have to look for that. It's on PBS also.
No, the Tammy show's been on PBS.
Right?
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, because they just had, I think, an Aretha Franklin show on not too long, and then another 50 show they just showed. But a lot of people that I spoke to, like the PBS show that we did, for some reason it's not airing down where we are, but yet people are calling me and telling me it's airing where they are. So
Yeah.
it's spotty.
It spots all over the place.
Yeah, which I didn't realize.
The Tammy show, do you hear that it's playing at different places? On PBS.
Oh, I haven't heard anything in a while.
yeah.
But I think it played here about a month ago in the Boston area.
I'll look for it. All right, I will, definitely.
Yeah, it came out on Shout Factory, and then they send me releases to review. So I hooked him up with Moulty, and you did what, USA Today?
The Globe, USA Today, and the Herald, all those. Yeah, I did all those. Yeah.
That was fun. Tammy show. This magnificent record with the Rolling Stones, Moulty, the Supremes, the Beach Boys, and no vinyl came out at the time.
64.
But no vinyl record to accompany the concert film, which I thought was like,
That Tammy show is now in the Library of Congress
Wow.
because it was in the middle of the change between that era of music and the next one, right in '64. You know,
Yeah.
changed the whole thing. So.
Yeah. You know, being in the business, you understand what you're
Yes,
saying
yeah.
because right around the cusp, at '69 was like the dance thing and everything kind of just went
Yes,
right away, dried up, and it went into like a folk era or something,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. You performed and you thought you were performing in front of a painting because nobody moved. You know what I mean? Everybody was like ripped.
Yeah.
so are you going into the studio soon? We talked about this a little earlier.
Yeah, I go in the studio quite often with my son Eric, and he does any guitar I need. He's my guitarist, and we'll be doing some upgraded versions of things, and I also have some unreleased things too to fool around with. We've talked about that,
Dare I say it, did you ever come across the Mercury sessions?
No, and my son always said, "Dad, You gotta get that. You gotta get that Mercury session. We did a session with Mercury Records after I left Laurie Records, but our lawyers couldn't get us off of Laurie Records, so that Mercury session just died in the water. We couldn't do anything with it. It didn't belong to me, really. You know, I weren't signed to them.
And they've changed, from what I understand, they've changed hands. From
Mercury? Oh, I didn't.
From Mercury to Polygram, and now it's Universal or
67,
something.
UMG. And UMG, and Andy McKay would be the guy who handles all the vaults.
Old stuff, yeah, I don't know.
But this is on Mercury, so you guys are now on the same label.
Hey, we're on the same label.
Yes.
See
We're
that?
on UMG, you know.
Somebody buy us a piece of pie.
Well, I think the Laurie catalog was owned by Capitol, and they just got purchased by UMG.
This guy, he knows all the stuff, this guy here. Yeah. Joe Vig. There's only one Joe Vig.
Well, they switched this over from, you know that. They went to the mother label after that. It went to regular Mercury.
Oh, that switched over to...
Regular mother label, just Mercury Records, because then they started putting it out on the little package deals with the oldies things and stuff, and it was on Mercury. But see, you have the one that says Garrett Scott, and that's the one that I have with the what was it, Record World.
Oh, so that's the earlier one.
Well, no, this was put the first 300,000 or 400,000 that went out. It just said Steam, and then when I sat with Bob, he said that he was going to put my name on there, which he did. But I was supposed to go on the road and perform with these guys, and I said, look, I'll perform with the guys, and then at the end of it, they can go their way, and I'll go my way. You know, we split the identity. They can continue to be Steam and let them do what they want to do at that point.
Right, yeah.
And you know, Paul was totally against it. Totally against it. Called me up, had me on the phone for an hour and a half at my sister's house, telling me all the negative things. You can't do it, man. It's not good. It's not. It's not right. So, you know, I just at
What
that
do you
point.
mean? There's one situation that's not right, and then this one's that's not right isn't not right enough or something.
No, right. That's what I mean.
Doesn't
But
make any sense. Yeah.
you would understand that
Yeah.
because you're an artist and you know what it means to you.
Yes.
Whereas other people, you know what they say to you? Suck it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't know how much
No.
that it's your soul.
That's
man.
you.
They're
That's
ripping
you.
it right out of your
Exactly.
body.
Exactly.
You know, this is something I wanted to do since I was a
You're an
little
artist.
kid.
You're an artist.
Yeah. And
When someone doesn't like your painting, it hurts your heart.
yeah.
It's you.
And the sad part too is that I'll never get those years back. The performing years, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like I said, I'm going to be 70 years old. So, I mean, you know, how many more years do I have? Number one, and number two, how much energy to go out and continue to do it?
You're appreciated here, you artists.
Well, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you appreciate it.
The original New England Compact Disc and Record Expo. We were surrounded by vinyl, and vinyl is coming back, and so are Moulty and Gary. Coming back, and...
Hey, this guy's cool. I like this guy. Oh, am I on?
You're on.
Oh,
You're on.
okay.
So you met Gene Krupa.
Yes.
I used to
Krupa
love
was-
Gene Krupa.
You did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, want to hear a war story? Gene Krupa was my idol. When I was a young boy, I was a guitarist. And very young, 5, 6 years old, I started playing guitar.
Really?
My mother showed me the chords. And then, so by the time I was 14 years old, I was a good guitar player. I was really on my way, you know. But I lost my hand in an explosion up to here. Then I became a drummer. My stick fits right in here. My stick's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then I became a drummer, okay? And so my idol then, I was playing along with Gene Krupa records and big band.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like rock and roll too. I was in all the 60s
Oh,
U.S. Bonds,
I
you know.
understand.
And then I went to New York. To make a long story short, I met Gene Krupa. He was playing in the Metropole in Times Square. My idol. I was 17. Wow, Gene
absolutely.
Krupa.
Remember
I went
the-
in there, and then
the long
I think it
hair.
was his manager. He saw me, a young guy there, and I went anyway. I was underage. Hey, you want to meet him? I said, what? I went up to Gene Krupa's room. I met Gene Krupa, shook his hand. I got the picture home. He gave me the picture. Best wishes to a fellow drummer, Gene Krupa.
That's great. That's
I
a
got
good
it home.
story.
I was telling him that a little while ago.
I used to listen to his lot of the drum solos. I used to love what he used to do because you know what I mean. Especially that when he was in some of the movies because you could see he was like really into it.
Put
with
it
the
on.
hair.
Yeah, oh yeah, Gene Krupa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great. Absolutely.
He was the drummer that the term is he brought the drummer from behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Because drummers weren't.
Yeah, right. He gave that. He gave
Yeah.
it personality.
Yeah, now drummers can play a regular part, and like Gene Krupa showed, he was the leader of the band. He was cool, you know.
You were the leader of the band. You still are.
Yeah, I told you, he was my idol. I copied him.
Yeah.
Copied him. Hey, I want to be cool like Gene Krupa.
I mean, the interesting thing that he did is, if you say Moulty or you say the Barbarians, people know it's him. So it's too bad it wasn't Gary DeCarlo and Steam.
Right.
One and the same. And
Right.
Gary DeCarlo and Moulty.
together for the first time.
There you go.
I just like the vibes of being around all the vinyl.
We could call it the oldies.
There you go. Right. Both from the same era.
The oldies.
Yeah.
The old folks.
We'll come out dressed in vinyl.
Yeah, right.
You guys do not look old. I
Look at
look
the
older
vinyl
than
suit.
you guys.
Huh?
You guys look young.
No.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Rock and roll
look at this
keeps you
guy.
young.
This guy, he's a kid. Look at him.
Like I said, I didn't get a lot of abuse, just mentally.
Well, yeah, mental abuse. He's fried upstairs, but
That's
look
it.
at how he looks.
Yeah, right.
He's cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
When did you cut the PBS, and where?
It was in Pittsburgh, and it was at the Benedum Theater, and it was done by T.J. Lubinsky and Henry DeLuca, and that was this May will be 2 years. So we had to wait for it to come out because they pulled 4 shows off of that. They did a doo-wop with Ronnie Spector and Bowser, and then they did a folk show, and then they did our show, and they're supposed to be doing another show with, I guess it's going to be doo-wop. I thought it was going to go to the 70s because they had bands there for that, but he told me that they're going to do another 60s show because a lot of fans, and they're very devoted people, you know that, and they'll come out for you, they'll spend their money for you. They're good fans. They're great people.
I love the
to dance.
Ronettes. I love the Ronettes and Ronnie Spector.
Yeah, absolutely. She was there. She was there that night, and the few people that were there, Mitch Ryder was there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Mitch Ryder, the Miracles, the Starship.
Yeah, Jefferson.
Who else? The Kingsmen, and the kids that sang.
A lot of groups. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good show, but it was extended. It was a 3-day weekend, so whatever you could get in there, then they would edit you into what show you were going to be in.
Right,
But
yeah.
it's amazing that they could do that. As organized as it was unbelievable. Right to the minute, they picked you up, brought you from the airport, brought you to the hotel. Then the hotel, they brought you over to the studio.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all nice people, right? Really nice people.
When you think about it, what was Tammy's show? 64?
64.
He said to me that it was one of their best-selling shows because of the people. A Question Mark and the Mysterians was on it. Yeah, and the kids that sang na 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 na.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were on there. Yep, they were on there. Yeah, it was
Did you
just
see the
great,
PBS special
the reaction
with
in the
Gary and
theater.
Steam, Nana Hey Hey?
Did not. Did not.
Do you have Nana Hey Hey Kiss 'Em Goodbye, the single?
Of course, everybody does.
That's Gary. That's Moulty.
I know Moulty. Victor Moulty.
So we're on camera, and your name is?
My name's Glenn. Hi, how are you?
So you remember the Tammy show?
Well, I have a copy of it. I don't remember it because I was in diapers at the time.
The Shout Factory version.
Sort of.
Okay, sort of.
You don't have a brand new one?
I need to get it.
Yeah, because it's in high definition now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I can see you going crazy
Plus
in high
I'll
def.
get 1.002 cents of a royalty.
Yeah,
That's a real
Yeah.
reason to get it.
yeah, absolutely.
So how did you guys get on the Tammy show?
We're the only kind of a band, a long-haired crazy rock band, wild guys from the USA. And you had the Stones and the Beatles from Europe killing the charts and everything. And my record company at the time was Joy Records.
Joy.
And
Hey, little bird.
yes, and Al Ham from Joy Records, he owned Joy Records, was also a part of the Tammy show. So his boys represented the United States.
That must have been a real thrill.
It was very thrilling.
That was at the Hullabaloo Club, right?
Huh?
The Hullabaloo? Is that where that was filmed, on Sunset?
No, that was filmed at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. There was the TNT show that was done at the Hullabaloo.
Yeah, the TNT. The TNT show was filmed a year and a half later,
Right, right.
and Phil Spector ran that one.
That's right. And Jack Nietzsche.
No, Jack Nietzsche was the music producer of the Tammy
He
Show.
was okay. Again, they're so similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Mixed
so
up.
many details. Yeah.
One has the Barbarians, one doesn't.
Yeah, well,
That's how I
no,
distinguish them, you see.
there's a lot of difference in the groups. The other one didn't have James Brown in it.
That's right.
Oh, sometimes they mix these movies up. They segment
Yeah,
them.
in the '80s they came out on
Yeah,
videotape.
yeah. But the other one had the Birds,
That's right. Spoonful.
the Spoonful, Ray Charles,
That's right.
and Ike and Tina Turner.
That's right.
They were good, you know. And of course Ronnie Spector, who I love, you know.
That's right.
Oh, just always loved Ronnie Spector.
She still looks the same too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, the Ronettes in 1965 opened up for me at a show.
No kidding.
And we're on the way to the show, and I said, "Who's going to open up for us today?" They said, "The Ronettes." I said, "What? They got 4 million hits. We only got a couple hits." And they told us, "Your hits are on the charts now. What are you going to do?" Stay with me. So when I saw Ronnie at the show, I said, "I can't open up. You can't open up for me." He said, "Moulty, it's the way the business is, you know." So of course, when she went on, I just melted. I loved her.
Where was that?
Sergeant Jim in Boston University.
Have a time machine to
yeah.
be able to go back
Yeah.
and videotape.
Oh yeah.
But did you meet James Brown at the Tammy show?
Yeah. I spent a lot of time with James Brown and everybody else in the Tammy show. Yeah. He was, needless to say, he was the king of soul. What do you call him? You know.
You hung out with Dennis Wilson in a car. Was there some kind of? Was he driving you around?
Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
There's some things I tell you are lies, you know.
So we can't put it on camera. Okay. I thought it-
That was true. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna say is that a secret?
We had fun, and he had a brand new Corvette. Okay, and they were from California anyway, so him and I would ride around in his Corvette, and I would be scared. Yeah, he was wild. Yeah.
Gary does the Charles Rosnay events. Did you go to the Rock Expo? Was it?
No. The one that he held in New Jersey.
Right.
I didn't know Charles then.
Okay.
I got a call from Charles when he did the expo, Beatle Expo in Stamford at one of the hotels there.
Right.
He called me and asked me if I would come there, and I told you the hook was the fact that we had bumped the Beatles out of number one, and that's where I met Charles, and so far we've been in touch, and I like Charles. He's a nice guy.
Old dear friend. He used to run, I think, Strawberry Fields Forever magazine. And we got to get you down to one of the expos.
All right.
It's in Connecticut.
Yeah, absolutely.
In your
I just
neck of
did
the
a
woods,
thing.
huh?
Yeah, I just did something Friday night. It was, not a big event, but it was a memorial thing for Davy Jones, which, because Charles and him were good friends.
Sure.
Yeah, and before that, he runs the Beatle things, but they're not as large as the Rock Con and stuff. But he was telling me about something, I guess an event that's going to be a memorial for Davy Jones through the family. And he said that that's going to be a much larger event. So he put me down as a guest for it. But, I don't know any more than that. He just talked to him Friday.
In Connecticut?
Oh, I think he said it's either going to be in New York or New Jersey.
Oh, interesting. So, boy, you guys have made memories for people.
We have a lot of war stories.
Yeah, but I don't have as many as him.
I don't believe that one.
Not with big names, anyway.
Of course you do.
His song is now chanting in England. They chant it in the soccer stadiums, is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was used for it was on all the Jock Rock albums because they said it was one of the top 5 all-time sports songs. But it was used for soccer in Mexico, in Sweden, like you said, in England, soccer. Then you have football, you got baseball, hockey. It blew my mind because it was very big in Canada also. So, you know what I mean? When you see it at the end of the game or when someone got kicked out of the game or whatever, same concept as the baseball thing, when the organ player picked it up and started playing it. and it just caught on. Thank God it did, because at that point, all the royalty situation had dried up. So when she did that, then it started
Keyboard and organ player.
Yeah, they gave her a gold record for that too.
No.
Yeah, matter of fact, I have an article on it at home. I forgot her name, but someone said to me that they should call me and have me go before they knock the stadium down and sing the national anthem there.
Which stadium?
Those soccer stadiums are big.
Kaminsky Park.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
the keyboard player at Kaminsky Park
Yeah,
started playing your song.
she. I guess there was a lull in the game, and the sheet music was on her organ, and she picked it up and she put it down. She just started to play it, and then people in the crowd just started picking it up and singing it. So she knew, and then she just did it on a regular basis. So
And then it caught on everywhere else.
caught on everywhere. Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah, it
Only
was.
when the home team is winning and beating the other guys.
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
nah, hey,
or
kiss 'em
or like
goodbye.
when they throw the pitcher out, because he's done.
Yeah,
they
right.
say goodbye to him. It's like,
That's so cool.
yeah, absolutely.
You never know how a Hey Little Bird or even your other songs can just catch on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working with the Bobby Hebb estate, and he has an album called Love Games that no one's heard. And it was on Sony, 4 years after Sonny. And a rapper, Mose Def, picked up Flower, and it's the intro to a song, and all of a sudden, there is interest in the Love Games album
Yeah.
by my friend Bobby, which is so nice, because
Yeah.
it's such an underrated album. It's pure R&B genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice when a rapper picks it up, and I'm like, how did he find Love Games?
Yeah.
Very cool that the younger generation is listening to this
Yeah.
great soul music.
About 2 years ago, we had 4 things out in the same year that were co-written type things, where Wale, a rapper from Washington, D.C., he did a thing called Chillin' with Lady Gaga. And then we had, let's see, what else did we have?
So they're doing the riff.
Yeah, they're doing a hook.
Chillin'.
They insert the hook. What's her name now? The girl, Christina DeBarge from the DeBarge family. They had a lot of R&B hits. She put a thing out called Goodbye. She used the hook in that. And then we had Jay-Z did a thing called Death of an Auto Tune, and he used it in that. And I'll tell you, man, he's got a big fan base. Thank God for him. I'll tell you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, like you said, it brought us into another market. And what's great about it is, depending on the event, like if they don't use Nana itself, the chant, they use their chant, but it's still our chant. So it's still
Sure.
revolving and making. So it's great. Yeah, it's absolutely great. I love them all for it, man. I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all talked out, but
You are chalked out?
I get fried at these events because my head's spinning. So I'm going to give you the mic.
Okay. Shall we sing a song?
Yeah.
He just left us here flat. The interviewer walked away from us.
Ah,
I just get.
I'm used to rejection.
We've been rejected. We thank you.
Yes.
God bless you and good night.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.